Good evening, everybody, and here we are on XFM 100.2 with me, Melanie Kelly, and this is Let's Talk About Sex. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can send us, you can send me a private email on Let's Talk About Sex on xfm@gmail.com, or else you can find me on Facebook with Let's Talk About Sex on XFM 100.2 with Melanie Kelly, where basically I put snippets of all the radio shows and which you can watch, and also I upload all the shows on Mixcloud. Today I have back with me a favorite guest of mine. We've only had one show together, but it was a real fun show. Hello, Emma.
It was applause. Give me a high five.
Hey, high five to Emma. And today we're going to talk about a topic which I think is very interesting to those couples out there, who have been in a relationship for quite a while. Mm-hmm. What do you deem a long-term relationship, Emma? How long do a couple need to be together
for it to be long?
To be like a long-term relationship?
I don't know. I guess it's like going on, I guess long starts at 4 years, maybe.
4 years,
I guess. Because that's when it sort of starts to become...
Okay,
well,
so...
Really, it's after 2 years, because the first two...
I think the first two are the most turbulent years.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
There's
the most
turbulence.
passionate.
The most passionate, when you want sex all the time.
When you fight.
When you fight all the time. Because obviously everybody's establishing their boundaries.
Yeah.
Once two people are in a relationship for quite a while, then I think there is this attitude where it starts getting sedentary. Yeah?
Yeah,
we start getting...
That's a good word to use for
Yes,
it.
because we start... It's natural. I mean, this does not happen only in relationships. I look at my son. When he gets a toy, First, he wanted the toy, and he really wanted it. Then you give him the toy. He's really happy about it. And then the toy just becomes one of his many toys.
Yep.
It doesn't mean he does not appreciate it, but he doesn't play with the toy, maybe.
It's true. I was thinking about this just before I came. It's the same relationship I have with this top. When I bought it, I was like, I love this top.
And I'm going to wear it only to go out in the evenings to special occasions. Yeah. But I think that is life, isn't it? That is with anything and everything.
Yeah, it's like you get the novelty and then it becomes normal and... Yeah.
Now, obviously, when you're in a long-term relationship, ideally, when the novelty wears off, we try and find ways of how to keep it alive.
Yeah. I really like to think of it in terms of a graph.
A graph. Okay.
So if you're looking at this is the x-axis, if it's the one going up.
Mandishidea, I'm an English literature major.
No, the other way around. Okay, so y is up and x is
down.
Sideways.
Okay, so
Jacob
this
is informing me.
Yes, this is for the people who are watching us, yes?
So the y would be like intensity.
Okay.
Right? So we're speaking about a graph of sex. So it's intensity to time. Okay? So usually we think that it goes, we meet. And we go, and then it starts go.
Okay, so the people who are listening to us because they're hearing so they don't know what you're really doing. So basically, what you're saying is we have an idea that when we meet, the intensity and the passion, it's obviously like it goes up.
Yeah.
Yes, but we have this preconceived idea that the longer you stay with a person, the intensity and the passion slowly dies.
Yeah, exactly.
Why is that a preconceived idea before we start?
I think it's because it's what everybody says, and it's what a lot of people experience.
And it is, and obviously, as we know, once something becomes what everybody says and what becomes like the norm, then it becomes acceptable.
Yeah. Exactly. And people become complacent about it.
Exactly. So when you're talking about, the sex life between my husband and I, we've been together for 10 years, it's like the norm.
Yeah.
So today, the topic today is how to stay sexually hungry.
Hungry. You gotta want it.
Yes, for a long-term partner. Is it possible to remain sexually hungry for a long-term partner? Is it, Emma?
Yes, it totally is.
Of course it is.
It totally is. And there are couples who do, who have been together for, 40 years and they manage to stay sexually hungry for each other.
I mean, we do see it in the movies.
Okay, yeah. What kind of, I mean, it's natural that it goes up and down, you know, like kind of passion
Yes.
waxes and wanes.
Yes.
But certain couples know how to bring it back.
Yes, and let's face it, I mean, we are not expecting a relationship to always be up. I mean, there are times when I could kill my husband, you know.
Yeah,
there are times when I feel like locking him out of the door and throwing away the keys, you know. But I think that's the same thing with my parents, with my son.
With your friends.
With
like,
my friends.
yes.
I mean, you have control over your friends somehow because they're like the people you choose. So
There's
is your
some
husband.
distance as well. You're not always together.
Yes.
Yeah.
But obviously, amidst all the ups and downs, there is a way of remaining sexually hungry for your long-term partner. And today, the show is going to be about how.
Yeah, how to do this.
How to do this. So stay tuned because it's going to be a very interesting show, okay? So let's start. And I love this. You called it the paradox of sexual desire. Now, for the listeners out there, okay, I'm not undermining your intelligence, but just in case the word paradox confuses you, you know, the word paradox is when there are two conflicting ideas or issues, okay?
Exactly.
So you are saying that with sexual desire, there is a paradox.
So exactly, like if we think back to our last show, right,
Yeah.
which we can link, right? We can link below.
We can
whatever.
link, and if our listeners did not listen to our last show, okay, which was amazing, then
Amazing.
yeah, so they can go to my Facebook page. How was that?
Amazing.
We can go back to my Facebook page. Let's talk about sex on XFM 100.2 with Melanie Kelly, and there you will actually find the whole show which we recorded. There via camera, and also on Mixcloud. So back to you, Emma. You were saying if we go back to our previous show, which was about why people cheat.
Yes, exactly. We spoke about the certainty and the uncertainty, right? So like we get married because we love, but also because we want certainty.
Yes.
Right?
Otherwise, you don't get married. In the sense that, why get married? Why not just stay together?
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, getting married is it's stepping into uncertainty because you haven't been married to each other before. But once you do it for long enough, you know, you're 4 years into it, then it's certain.
Yes.
You know, you know who you're coming home to, you know who you share bills with, you know who you share responsibility with. There's security.
Yes. And routine, which I think
Exactly.
the human nature thrives on that.
Exactly. The thing about desire is... think about someone you're sexually attracted to.
Okay.
Okay, everyone at home, you do this too.
Okay.
Do you know them well?
No.
Are they someone you spend every day with? You share responsibilities with?
No, I'd need to go to Hollywood.
Okay, so... who?
Almost Thor. Who else? Who's Thor? What's his name?
Thor.
Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth. I think it was.
I'm sure I should know, but I don't know.
Yes, you should. You really should. You don't know Thor, the handsome big blonde. Anyway, you
Yeah,
were
I mean,
saying.
I have an idea, like, you know, the kind of the
I'll
image.
show you a picture
but-
soon.
Okay,
So
cool.
you were saying the person you're sexually attracted to is usually somebody who you don't know well.
Exactly.
You don't do house chores with.
No, you don't share.
Shout at because he hasn't taken out the dog for a pee or a poo.
Yes, there's no obligations
Yeah.
yet. You don't have to go to Sunday lunch with their family. You don't have to, you know, do all this stuff. Like, you know, there's...
Okay. I think you're giving a bit more information there about the family. So
No, but this is true.
yes, but you're right.
Listen, in therapy, something that comes up a lot is relationship with in-laws.
Yes,
You know, and this goes into sexual desire because
course.
if you're with your in-laws all the time,
There's
and
pent up anger.
No, sometimes you
Or
can
frustration.
have a great relationship with your in-laws, like you can get along really well.
Yes.
But if you're with them all the time to the point that you become like one of their kids, then you become your partner's sister.
Or brother.
You know, and that's not hot.
It's not hot at all.
You know, there's a lot of taboo around that, you know?
Yes.
So, like, I
So-
mean, it's hot on Game of Thrones, but,
Yeah.
you know, like, in marriage, it's not that hot. So, you don't
Okay.
want to be with your brother or your sister. You want to be with someone, with a lover, you know?
So we are telling our listeners here that one of the most important things, entrapments that we kind of fall into, is that we merge into each other's life in such a way that sometimes a brotherly, sisterly attitude starts forming.
Exactly. And it's too
Okay.
much. It's too much like family.
Okay.
And you don't want to have sex with your family.
So hold on, because you were talking about people you're sexually attracted to. Carry on there.
Yes. Okay, so if you think about, and it changes, right? It changes, like the person I was sexually attracted to a couple of months ago, not so attracted to now. Now I'm attracted to somebody different,
Yes.
whatever.
Yes. The plumber or the painter across the road.
Whatever. But usually, like, I don't know that person so well. I can imagine what their life is like. I can imagine what they would be like in bed. I have no idea. I can
Okay.
imagine what I would feel like being, what it would feel
Yes.
like to be with them,
But
what I could show them about myself, right?
But it's not real. It's
It's
in your
fantasy.
head. It's in your head.
Exactly. It's imagination.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what I mean by certainty and uncertainty.
Yes.
So desire comes up in uncertainty. It's in what we don't know. So this is why we struggle when we're with people for a long time.
So
because
that's why
things are
the
too certain.
paradox.
That's why the paradox. It's a paradox because we need to learn how to balance it. Look, in the past, we married for security, okay,
Yes.
for financial and children. It
Yes.
wasn't about love and desire.
Yes.
Nobody really cared about love and
Yes.
desire back then. You, if you sought love, you sought it outside. I mean,
Yes.
it's like these Shakespeare.
Yes, the mistress.
Novels,
yes,
you
in
know?
fact, yes. That's your literature. That's your history. The mistress. So,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
most of them were the men because they get to leave the house.
Yeah, and it was kind of acceptable,
Yes.
back
yes.
then.
Yes.
So frowned upon, but acceptable.
Yes. Yes.
So now we want it all.
All.
We want the financial security. We want the children. We want friendship. I want you to know me intimately, but I also want, desire. I want it to be hot. I want it to be frequent, and I want to want you.
So how does your husband, who gives you certainty, you look at with uncertainty? So that's where we're going to go today.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But the first thing we're telling our listeners here that it is work. You need to work. So there's nothing wrong with the relationship if your husband, who gives you certainty, maybe the way things are, you're not sexually attracted to. No. You don't have a desire for.
Yeah, no, it's totally normal.
It's totally normal.
that
So
exactly that it waxes and wanes. The trick is how to
Exactly.
get it back.
exactly.
Yeah.
So okay, can you give us ideas of when maybe you can find a partner attractive?
Yeah, in fact, there was some research done on this, and where they asked people, when do you find your long-term partner most attractive?
When he cuts his
And-
hair.
Okay,
When
that's
he comes
for you.
back after the hairdresser.
Okay, so why do you think that is?
Because short hair really suits him and he looks really handsome.
Okay, and maybe he looks a bit different to how he looked yesterday.
Yes.
Right?
Because when he gets the scruffy hair, it starts, I don't know. But you know how it is when
Yeah.
a female has nice hair and then when she
Yeah.
puts her hair
Yeah,
on, something changes.
Exactly,
Yes.
something simple. The other day I was
Always,
wearing...
when he walks in after the hairdresser, I always look at him and tell him, wow, you look handsome.
Damn.
Huh?
Usually I wear my hair, like my parting is on the right.
Okay.
The other day, just for fun.
For
wow,
fun.
how wild, right?
Uh-huh.
I put it on the left.
Okay.
My husband noticed that something was... He didn't tell me something's different. He just looked at me and went, you look really good.
Yeah, yesterday my hair was short. And then today it's long.
There you go.
So it's very
So,
important.
I mean, these are really little things. Obviously, there's more
But-
ways to bring in
yes,
the uncertainty,
but
but
they
these
are
little things make a
important.
difference. Exactly.
They are important.
Yeah.
Try to do something with yourself, which is how to try new makeup.
Yeah.
Try
different
new hair
look, a
color if
different
you're
color,
female.
wearing clothes,
Baby, don't go always for the same clothes. Try and, I don't know, just do something which makes you look just a bit. It doesn't have to be a radical makeover,
Yeah.
But, and even for the men, maybe they can have a haircut where the hair is not cut exactly in the same way. Don't wear the same
Exactly.
T-shirt, because I feel that men tend to stick a lot to the same clothes, the same style of clothes. huh?
Yeah, some do.
Okay, so
okay.
well, you were telling me about these different things that you can do.
Shall I tell you what they
Yes, go,
found?
go,
So
go.
they asked people, when do you find your partner most attractive? And a lot of people said, like, when she's away, when we reunite, when she's on stage, when he's in his element, when we're at a party and somebody else finds him attractive, when they're radiant and confident. So
Okay.
there's these elements of, there's distance, there's separateness there, when she's away, when we reunite, when he's on stage. So there's independence, there's aliveness, when somebody else is attracted to them, he's not mine. There's this, need to chase and earn.
So basically, you are saying that when a person is in their element and standing as a person, not a part of a duo, but as the person in themselves, in their own power. Obviously, if you're in your power, you're doing something that you're passionate about, you become radiant and you become more attractive even to your long-term partner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm going to stop you there because, oh my God, the first part of the show is already over.
Okay.
However, we're going to carry on just a little bit and then we're going to talk about how the sex experience with your partner begins with me. And not me, Melanie and Emma, but me, you, the listener.
The experience with your partner begins with me.
That didn't sound right. It begins with you. So we're going to go for a short break and we will see you back in a short while.
See you later.
Welcome back to Let's Talk About Sex here on XFM 100.2 with me, Melanie Kelly, and we are with Emma Hogg.
Whoop, whoop.
And yes, that's Emma Hogg. And we are talking about how to stay sexually hungry for your long-term partner. If you happen to have just, switched on your radio now and you're saying, okay, what are they talking about? So you can go on our Facebook page, Let's Talk About Sex on XFM 100.2 with Melanie Kelly. And there you will find the whole show uploaded on Mixcloud. And also you can see us. You can see us because we will put snippets. And not actually, we'll put the whole show up there for you to watch and listen.
Yeah.
So in the first segment, yes, we were talking about how there's a paradox in sexual desire, how there's this certainty and uncertainty, and how for us, desire comes with uncertainty. And your main advice to our listeners was, listen, one, for your partner to find you sexually attractive, kind of do something different with yourself or be yourself.
Acknowledge that there is this paradox, that is totally normal, that we become comfortable and the sexual desire does kind of take a dip, So, but it doesn't mean that you're screwed from then forward, you can bring new things into the relationship to, put yourself in some uncomfortable situations, take risk. It's the same with our individual lives, If I'm bored, if things become too routine, I need to try something new. I need to go somewhere different. I need to meet some new people. Sex is the same.
I think this is in every area of our life. And as you just said now, sex is the same.
Yeah.
If you do too much of the same, it remains... wait, hold on. If what you're doing gives you pleasure, carry on.
Yeah, but if you do too much of the same, if sex is the same every time, it's going to become a bit like, okay, I know that first we do this,
then we do that.
And then we do that. And, and then you go, and then it's over, okay.
And that is something that all my guests here, we've got sex coaches, we've got sexologists, we've got sex and relationship experts who come and counselors who come on the show, and they all say the same thing.
What do they say?
How you need to move out of the security net and try something different.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't get too comfortable.
And we have more power with this than we think we do, right?
Yes.
We tend to think that it's just the way it is and there's nothing we can do about it. And sometimes we look at our partners and we kind of say, what do they do that turns me on and what do they do that turns me off? Yes?
Yes, we give them the power.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, yes, it's true that the way that our partners treat us makes a big difference in how we feel towards them.
Of course, if your
know?
husband or wife has done something to really anger you,
Exactly.
you know, like go and buy a new car without telling you, and I'm not saying this, and no, and it's not my husband who did that, but, you know, and, you know, for that week, you kind of are angry with them.
Yeah, you might not
so-
want to have sex with them or
or
whatever.
speak
but,
to them ever again.
Yeah, so
I
the
mean-
way they treat us makes a big difference, obviously.
Yes, obviously,
But,
obviously.
you know, sometimes we look and we get used to discomfort and we look at them and we're used to looking at them every day. We think we know everything about them and we're bored, you know? So a good question to ask yourself to bring power back, you know, because when we do that, we leave all the responsibility with them.
And let's face it, because I understand what you're saying, we always tend to expect our partner to make us happy.
Yes.
To make us happy, to make us, to give us sexual satisfaction.
Yes.
To know what we want, to do it in the right way,
yes,
the
to
right
not
time.
frustrate us.
Exactly.
Yes.
But what we are saying is that the experience with your partner does not depend or start with him or her, but it starts with you.
Yes, exactly. That's a really good point that you just brought up. So
It's in your notes.
but thank you.
But I did.
It's
but
also
I,
in you.
But I did add to it, yes.
my note was just a trigger. So a good question to ask yourself is, when do I turn myself off? Okay, so start with the off.
Okay.
And people have been asked this, and people
Okay.
usually respond with, I turn myself off when I feel fat. I turn
Aha.
myself off when I feel old. I turn myself off when I have no time for myself, when I haven't spent time with my friends, when I'm overworked and I can't think, when I'm totally stressed out, when I haven't slept, you know?
Yes.
Things like that.
Okay.
And then you
we
can...
all turn ourselves off at one point or another in life.
Totally.
Completely.
Totally. Every
It is
day.
normal.
At some point every day.
Every
probably.
day. Okay. So
And-
that's the first question our listeners need
Yeah.
to ask themselves. Maybe sit down, grab a pen,
Yeah.
you know.
Exactly, which is very different to you turn me off when.
Yes.
And leaving the responsibility all with your partner.
Because am I right in saying that if, let's say, I gained a bit of weight
Uh-huh.
and that's turning me off.
Uh-huh.
So deep down, I'm a bit unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, you know, maybe my partner doesn't feel like having sex. And then all of a sudden, you're like, because you don't want me, maybe the energy and the vibe that I am giving off
Yes,
is actually leading to you not wanting to
because
come
you
close
carry
to me.
yourself differently, right? If I'm not feeling
Yes.
good about myself and I approach you and be like, then maybe not as engaging. I'm not gonna look at you. I'm not gonna come out. You know, my chest changes. The way I hold myself changes when I feel good about myself. When I
It's
don't feel
true.
good about myself, I'm inwards. I'm turned away. You
It's
know?
posture, which we were actually talking about also in the show about attraction
Okay.
with Matt Bartolo.
Cool.
How a big attribute for a person to look attractive is confidence.
Yes, exactly.
And what is
It's
confidence?
the
It's
most
posture,
attractive
the way
thing.
you carry yourself.
Exactly.
So
And this is taking care of yourself, right? So then when you ask people, so I turn myself on when,
okay.
you'll get like opposite answers. You'll get when I've gone for a run, when I'm feeling good about my work, when I'm really enjoying my work.
When I had
I've-
my yoga session, my
Exactly.
hair done.
When I had time with my friends, when I spent quality time with my family, or, you know, like...
take the dog out for a walk. I don't know. But
Exactly. When you're having fun, when I'm laughing, when I'm joyful, when I'm feeling alive, when I'm doing a project I feel really, really passionate about.
like, let's talk about sex with Melanie Kelly.
Totally. Exactly.
So, we are telling our listeners here, the first thing to do is to ask themselves what turns them off. So, what in their life makes them not feel good?
Exactly. When do I turn myself off?
And when do I turn myself on? When do I feel good?
Exactly.
So, it's important because most people are not even probably aware of it. I mean, you know it, but you're not aware of it.
yeah, I mean, you can You can flick a switch all you want, right? Like, I mean, your partner can come and, like you're saying, like if you're not feeling good, and they come and they, hey,
Touch you.
like let's have sex, like or
Uh-huh.
whatever. If you're not feeling
Feeling
good
it.
about yourself, you're like a broken switch.
Yes,
like
you're not going to give
you're
back.
not
Okay.
gonna respond.
Okay, so we need to take our own responsibility when it comes to sexuality.
Yeah.
And when it comes to desire.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, I like what you said here because energy and sexual energy is very alive.
Yeah.
It's in every single person.
We come from sex.
We do.
Okay, wait, that can be taken
Wait,
in
wait,
many
wait,
ways.
wait. And nowadays there's a lot,
No, so what I mean is,
No pun intended
we
then.
are born from sex. We are created from sex. Sex is life energy. Sex is within us.
Because you procreate.
Exactly.
I mean, yes.
But sometimes we treat it like sex is something separate from us. Like we need toys and we need outfits to become like.
Okay.
You
They
know,
help,
like
but you don't need
they
them.
could help, but they don't help everybody. Sometimes it puts more pressure on it,
Of
so it just
course,
depends.
yes.
But we are sexual. My sexuality is me. So when we think of it as being separate, it's totally counterproductive. So yes, think of sexuality as your life energy. It's what brought you into this world.
Into this world. Okay.
You
And I like what you said, like that energy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's the only resource that we really have.
Yeah.
Why?
And
Yeah.
and it's the only one we really have, and it's not infinite. Like how we tend to go like the Duracell bunnies.
Yes.
It's just non-stop go 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 go
Yes.
go.
That's my nickname, by the way.
Yeah, I had a feeling. I think you and I are very similar in
Not
this
the bunny,
way.
the Duracell.
Yeah. But I think that we're very similar in this way. We like to go, go, go,
Yes,
go, go. Like
yes.
we like to use our energy.
Yes,
What happens
yes.
is we can get burnt out.
Yes. Yes.
So our life energy is something that we need to nourish. It's not something that we can just like take for granted. We need to replenish it.
Yes.
So if you ask yourself like, where does life energy come from? Where do you think life energy comes from first?
That's a very interesting question. Where does our energy? Why are some people more energetic than others?
Let's ask Jacob. Jacob, where do you think it comes from?
No, he can't. He's
From
saying
food? No, it doesn't come from food.
No, even
Okay.
if I'm starving.
If you go without air, water, or food, which one's gonna kill you first? Air. Exactly.
Air.
So air is the first thing that gives us energy. Okay, so a good question is, do you breathe deep?
Oh, come on, let's breathe all together. Do you breathe deep?
A lot of people walk around barely breathing.
Yes, you are very right. When I go to some of my, when I go to for a shiatsu massage, the first 5 minutes, she tells me, breathe, breathe, breathe. By the
Yeah.
end of it, I'm like, but it's true.
And you feel so much better, no?
Yes.
You can't think when you don't breathe.
No, it's true.
A lot of people are barely breathing. They breathe just enough to survive, but they don't breathe enough to...
They don't breathe consciously, I think.
You need to every so often take a deep breath, deep into your belly, and then just let it out. And do it
Yes.
again. Let it out.
And instantly, when you take 5 long breaths of in, count to 5, keep, count to 5, exhale, count to 5, instantly you're calmer.
Yeah, totally.
Instantly. It's an instant effect.
Exactly.
It's guaranteed.
It triggers your nervous system into calming down. It gives your brain the message everything's okay.
Yes. You're fooling your brain.
Yeah, totally.
In a way.
Also, everything is okay.
Yes,
Well,
we're going somewhere.
Yeah, we're going somewhere else.
different.
But it's about sort of...
So the first thing is breathe. Breathe to balance you out, to give you energy.
Exactly.
Okay,
Next
I like
thing
that.
is water. We're 60% water. Do you drink water? Do you drink it? We're 70% water. Jacob's correcting me. We're 70%
Yes, I'm drinking water, by the way. Okay.
Do you drink enough water? Because this is important,
Yes.
for food.
Do you eat the right food?
Do you eat processed junk food, with lots and lots of sugar and lots of toxins and lots of... It's okay once in a while, but if this is all you eat,
No,
your
it's true.
body's going to have to work really
Yes,
hard to
yes,
break
yes.
that stuff down.
Yes.
And you're not going to get as much from it if you eat food that you can process
Yes.
fast,
Yes.
that processed food, whatever, that you can break down fast, you know,
Okay.
you're gonna get so much
So
more
obviously,
from it.
obviously, now you are talking on a level of, if you are a listener out there and you feel that, I don't think you're talking about people like you and I who seem to be very energetic all the time. I think you're talking about because I think honestly it comes natural with some people to be a bit more energetic than others.
I had to learn it.
Okay, you had to learn it. I
Yeah.
was always very energetic
Okay.
since I was young.
Yeah.
Not hyperactive, but full of energy.
No, I had to learn. I
Okay?
used to sit for a long time.
Okay, so this because I'm hearing you out, and you've got a few points more how to teach people how to be energetic, and I'm thinking, not really, because I've always been very energetic. But this advice is going out for those people who maybe find themselves lacking energy. We're not trying to tell you to become full of energy like all the time,
Yeah.
you know, because I think it's like one person is short, one person is tall, you know, and I
Yeah.
think some people do have more energy than others.
And
but
part of having energy is taking a step back and resting and
yes,
replenishing.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So for those people who are listening out to us and who maybe feel their energy has been depleted over the years, and obviously a lack of energy is a lack of sexual appetite.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
Exactly. If you don't move, right? If you have you used the word sedentary before. If you have a
Yes.
sedentary lifestyle,
Yes,
when you have sex, your blood is pumping.
yes,
So if you move more often, your blood is pumping. You're used to your blood pumping. It's easier to get into that mode. It's easier to get energetic.
It's not foreign. It's not a foreign feeling.
Exactly. And when your body likes being energetic, you start to crave it. So
It's
you
like
want
chocolate.
it more and more. Exactly.
chocolate.
If you sit down and do nothing and you eat chocolate to get a better mood. Because we do these things. We either
Yes.
eat chocolate or we exercise because it shifts
Shifts
our
us.
state. It shifts
Yes.
our emotional state.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
If we rely on chocolate or coffee or alcohol to do that for us, I mean, it doesn't take much work and there's side effects, right?
Yes.
Usually side effects
Yes.
that are not good for your body
Yes. Yes.
and not good for your sexual appetite.
Yes.
But if you take power into your own hands and you start to move and you get your blood pumping and you shift your mode, remember, motion is emotion.
Yes. Love that.
So
I
if you
love
want to
that.
change your state, get up and shake your ass.
In fact, I sometimes realize when I go to my personal trainer and I'm like carrying weights, if I'm angry about something, I'm like, "Rrr," you know, I'm like, don't imagine I'm carrying a lot of weights.
You have
but-
even more energy,
but
right?
you get
can
more
lift even
energy,
more.
and as you
Exactly.
said, motion is emotion because the emotions find a space where they can come out.
Exactly. And also, if you want to shift it, you want to go from down to up, move, jump, run, sing, laugh, you know? If you're inwards, your energy is low, you don't feel good. You come out, you take deep breaths and you laugh and you move and it's great. You feel
So
good.
basically, for the listeners who have maybe joined in now and are saying, why are they talking about air and food and movement and emotions on a talk on a show which says let's talk about sex? We are saying this because that is how you get your energy back, and once you reclaim your energy, once you become an energetic person, then your appetite for sex, obviously, lack of energy, lack of sexual appetite, that is how another way of bringing it back, of bringing back
Exactly.
the desire.
Exactly.
Emma, we are, over our second part.
I
mean,
can't
the time is
believe it,
running
like,
out.
this-
So
There's so much more on our
it
notes. We're going to have to do
doesn't
another
matter.
show.
We are coming back. Don't you worry. So we're going to go for a little break and we are going to come back and we're going to tell you more about how your sexuality is your life energy and how it begins with you.
Hell yeah.
So welcome back to Let's Talk About Sex here on XFM 100.2 with Melanie Kelly and Emma Hogg.
Hello.
And we are talking about how to remain sexually hungry when you are in a long-term relationship. And right before the break, we were talking about how you need to take care of your energy.
Yeah.
Because once you regain your energy, your sexual appetite can be also regained.
Exactly. My sexual energy is my life energy. They're one and the same.
Yes, completely. And obviously, if you don't, a lot of people expect the partner to take care of them.
What do you mean by this?
It's like, they need a partner to provide to every need they have. And sometimes I feel that we well, we've been saying this over and over again, how we give our power. My partner needs to make me happy. My partner needs to turn me on. My partner needs to know when I'm not feeling okay. You know, and most of the time, your partner,
It's human.
is human. You know,
I
so
think it comes a bit from like being babies, you know, when we were kids and our mothers responded to our every cry.
Yes.
I think sometimes we carry that forward and we kind of expect our partner to do the same.
do you think, Emma, that in every relationship sometimes I was talking to Ken the other day, and who was also a sex coach, and he mentioned that in every relationship, in every person, there are 3 roles a person takes up. Sometimes the person is the child, sometimes they're the adult, and sometimes they're the parent in a relationship.
Yeah, he's speaking about transactional analysis.
Okay. So we won't go so much into it, but do we sometimes tend to go into parenting mode?
Yes.
And once you go into the parenting mode,
Yes,
your
yes,
partner
yes.
becomes the child.
Yes, and this is a big issue. Like sometimes it happens that when women become mothers, and they find it very difficult to step out of the parent role. And if you're parenting your partner, and sometimes don't get me wrong, it's not all the woman's fault. The partner will contribute, like by
Like buying a car without telling you. Did I already say that?
This is a,
Okay.
there's a quote here, like
And then you become the parent.
there's a
like,
wound. Yeah. So exactly, if you're like always in parent mode,
Yes.
you are not going to want to have sex with your partner, and for a very good reason. Like, you know, whenever you feel like a parent, like sexual desire
Yes.
just dies.
Yes. And there
So-
are instances like where one of the partners, you know, it's not always the male, when one of the partners acts in a certain way that makes the other partner take on that role.
Yeah.
Ideally, however, you both stay on the role of adult.
Yeah, I mean, you have to take care of yourself. Your sexual energy is it's your responsibility. You know, if I'm looking to someone else to fulfill all my needs, like, I mean, that's cheeky.
Okay, so is it about quantity or quality? What do you think?
And it's about quality. Totally about quality.
Agreed.
Definitely. If I'm going to eat
Now,
chocolate,
why am I
I'm going to
asking?
eat quality
Why am
chocolate.
I asking? Because I think that I'm going to have to say it, I think, but with men, I think more than with women, they tend to always consider the quantity of sex they've had with their partner, you know, maybe because of of a social kind of pressure, of these statistics that there are out there that you know, the average couple have sex 3 times, 4 times a week.
Yeah, men tend to lie as well. They tend to boost it for status. It's true.
So
But yeah, I think quantity is important in the sense that,
you can't have sex once every 6 months.
and the more you do it, the more you want it.
Yes.
It's like exercising. You exercise once every 2 weeks, you don't feel that much of a difference. You do it, you know, 5 times a
Regularly.
week. You want it. You wake up craving it.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
it's the same with sex. You turn that light switch on within yourself, and it's on.
Yeah.
You're ready to go, baby. You know
Yes,
what I
sister.
mean? So yeah, it is about quantity, but it's also about quality. And I think that, like, when we speak about life energy, right, and we speak about, you know, do you breathe, do you get enough water, do you move, your emotions, you know, thinking about the way you think about things, like a lot. There's work, right? There's work that goes into taking care of your sexual energy. So somebody might be like, so what? You're telling me that I need to work out. I need to, you know,
Eat well.
If I'm gonna add more stuff, eat well. You know, think about what I eat. Learn about. It's a
Breathe.
lot of work. Like, you know, practice gratitude and all this
Yes,
stuff. It's a
yes.
lot of work.
Which
You're
is in fact, it is a lot of not work, but it's very much. We're not maybe growing up. It's not given so much importance.
Exactly. I
That
mean,
is it, because
in fact, what are we told at school? Sit down, shut up, and learn your
Listen.
maths, right? Don't
Yes.
get up and go for a run.
Yes.
In fact, we need to miss PE because we need to study more Maltese or English, okay, let's do it.
And the most horrible one of all is that, that you need to pee. No, you have to keep it till the end of the lesson. I remember that so clearly. I need to go.
There's men like bouncing around.
End of the lesson, and there's like 40 minutes left. But anyway, that aside, so quantity is important because obviously, as you said, if you don't have sex often, then that becomes the norm.
Yeah, exactly.
And the desire depletes.
Exactly. And yes, okay, it does take energy to foster your sexual energy. It's true.
Okay.
But, what kind of sex do you want to have? You can have, sex after watching Netflix. You can have like a 10-minute session, 20-minute session, if maybe.
Yes.
After watching
3-minute session.
Netflix for 2 hours,
Whatever gives you pleasure.
Whatever, after being, sitting down mostly all day, and it can be the same and whatever, and you can have that kind of sex frequently. Fine. If that makes you happy, fine. But if you want the kind of sex that, you really look forward to, okay, you enjoy, you have fun with your partner, and you feel really alive, and you grow together. So it's different, like the sex is different each time. So like I experience myself in new ways, I experience my partner in new ways. Then yes, you have to take care of your energy.
Very important. I love the way you look at that energy. So, what are we going to? How can we give our not our partners, our listeners, more hands-on examples of what to bring more into their life for their desire to increase?
Okay, well, these things, right? So the things like taking care of your energy is massively important. So move your body, make sure that you're eating food that's good for you, breathe deep, drink water. Even the way you look at things, you look at things from an attitude of lack or gratitude,
Okay.
Like, we tend to see what our partner does wrong, like a lot.
Or not do. It's
okay,
true.
or not do. We tend to complain, and we'll point out what they didn't do.
Yes, but you don't really point out what they do.
Exactly.
Or take for granted.
We don't
or
really
give
point out
gratitude.
the time that, hey, listen, thanks for filling up the car with petrol the other day. Like,
Yes.
it was really cool to get in and find a full tank, and I didn't have to worry and
about-
stress about going to get some. And, we don't do that. But if we find it, empty, this happened to me the other day. And my reaction was, I'm going to get out my phone and take a photo of this empty tank and send it to him and be like, like,
It was your job.
beep, like, kind of, you really don't care about me, whatever. But I didn't do it because I saw that reaction, and I've been practicing this for a long time. Before I started practicing this, maybe I would have.
Okay, so what do you do instead?
You shift. So you go from seeing lack, seeing what isn't there, what your partner isn't giving you, to seeing gratitude. Okay, so there were 5 times, okay, before that, since the last time I found the tank empty.
You're counting. I'm not counting.
Whatever, that I found the tank full, right? So you see what there is as well, and you praise what there is. You tell your partner what you like. You tell them, thank you for this.
Yes, and I think that's a very important exercise because maybe our listeners, can sit down and maybe have a like when we used to do it at school, the pros and the cons. And as a society, I'm not saying as a Maltese society, because I think this is in general all over the world, we tend to complain rather than talk about the good things in our lives. We tend to talk about the bad things in our lives, and we tend to do that even with the partner. We, as you're saying, you bring out the bad rather. So sit down. I tell you now, sit down, and rather than focus on what your partner doesn't give you, think about what your partner gives you. And I bet that if you list down all the things that your partner gives you, by the end of that list, you'll start feeling a warm sensation inside, a warmth inside that tonight maybe will actually make you want to go and kind of say thank you with all that you have.
Yeah, physically.
Because you know that partner might not give you,
It's also about sort of shifting the gear from, like, I think that when we look at love in terms of give and take, what am I getting and how much am I giving, then it becomes a transaction. you know, and it sort of loses out, like, and you kind of, it's just about sharing, right? It's about togetherness, and it's about separateness, you know. It's give and take. Okay, maybe you give me in this way, but I give in different ways, and you know, but like kind of it's not about counting every, you know, and deciding that you don't have enough. Like it's
So we
gratitude.
have only a few minutes left, okay, till the end of our show today. So the advice that we've given our listeners today is take care of your energy, replenish your energy, be curious.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, be curious. I don't think we really spoke about that
Yeah,
much.
not much.
But
not
yeah,
much,
be
not
curious.
much.
Yes, remember that you don't know your partner totally. Like, I
But
mean,
also be curious in the way we can say, because we spoke in the first segment, be conscious of what turns you on
yes,
and what turns you off.
yes, and you can always find new stuff, like turning onable.
Ask yourself, what attracts me about my partner? When is it that I find my partner attractive the most?
But yes, and asking yourself when do
I
you
feel
exactly
the most attractive?
Yeah. I think that if you do what you've always done, right, you're gonna get what you've always got.
Oh, yes.
So you need to play around with things. And I think that one important thing is remembering that, one, don't leave all the responsibility with your partner.
Yes, definitely. That's an important one.
You know, shift your focus to gratitude, see what they do bring. And also become curious about them, because, you know, like who I was 2 years ago is different to who I am now. Okay, there are certain core essential parts of me that remain quite like relatively stable, but like I do things in a different way. I'm constantly in evolution, and my partner is too. So there's always more to learn about your partner, and this is sexually too. Like sex is just another arena, and we need to go way deeper into this, because we need to like go into for the next show.
In fact, I was going to tell you, I know, you know, there's a lot more to talk about. We're going to talk about how to bring pleasure into your relationship, how to create an erotic space in the bedroom. So there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel that when I talk about the same things with different professionals, okay, you all bring something different.
Totally.
It's like because a couple of weeks ago, I believe we spoke about sexual pleasure with Ken Kassar. But I feel that what people bring is different.
Yeah.
So please,
probably if you spoke to us
Yes.
with in a year, we would say
Yes,
you know,
different,
different
something
stuff as well.
different.
Like maybe not totally different, but something new.
So anyway, Emma, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you. I love it.
So if you've just tuned in now and you're saying, oh man, I missed the whole show, then all you have to do is go on a Facebook page, which is Let's Talk About Sex on XFM 100.2 with Melanie Kelly, and there you will find the whole thing, which I upload on Mixcloud. You will find the whole show, which is also uploaded, and you can watch us and listen to us. Emma, thank you so much. I look forward to having you back again on the show very shortly.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah?
you very, very much.
You're
loved
very,
it.
very
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
High five.
High five.
And a good night and good sex to everybody.
Have a good time.